Welcome to the Creative Accelerator Fund webinar for fiscal year 2027. I'm Program Director Angelique Grandoni, joined by two of my colleagues.
Hello, I'm Jackie Banks-Malum, Director of Programs for the Illinois Arts Council.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Robertson. I am Program Representative.
This webinar will give you an overview of the guidelines and the application process for the Illinois Arts Council's FY27 Creative Accelerator Fund, or CAF application. Here's a brief overview of what we'll cover in today's webinar. First, we're going to give a brief refresher on the Illinois Arts Council. We'll talk through how to use the guidelines and review eligibility before going step by step through the Creative Accelerator application. Program Representative Jasmine Robertson will give us a demo of the Salesforce portal for those of you who might not be familiar with it. And lastly, we'll wrap up by sharing further details about what to expect once you've submitted your application. At the end of the presentation, we'll share some additional ways to connect with us to ask any questions you may have. There is a lot to cover. However, please remember that everything discussed today can also be found in the CAF guidelines. A reminder about the Arts Council to get us started. The Illinois Arts Council is a government agency that was established in 1965. We are governed by 21 citizens appointed by the governor, and our budget is allocated by the state of Illinois' General Assembly and supported by additional funds from the National Endowment for the Arts. The Council's mission is to bring a strong, creative, and connected Illinois through the arts, and we do this by offering support to Illinois' art sector, advancing arts education, and fostering creativity and working artists. Now we'll move into the Creative Accelerator Fund information. The goal of this program is to provide critical support to strengthen Illinois' creative workforce that comprises a significant portion of our state's economic activity. The Creative Accelerator Fund provides a flexible $10,000 taxable award to selected individual artists. This is a randomized selection in partnership with the Illinois State Lottery to determine the order of application review. The lottery does not receive any personal information on the applicants or see content from the applications. The selection process is done on a regional basis, and applications are only drawn from a pool with other applications that are in the same IAC region. On the IAC website, you can find the guidelines for the Creative Accelerator Fund. The written guidelines will be a valuable tool as you navigate the application. We have carefully documented each step in the application with a corresponding section in the guidelines. These guidelines are meant to serve as your detailed step-by-step guide, so please have them handy and consult them often in the application process. All applications will be submitted via the IAC's Salesforce portal. The link to our portal is found on our website, in the guidelines, and within these PowerPoint slides. All applications are due by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, October 14th, 2026. Please do not wait until the last minute to begin the application. The system will be very busy on the last day, and the closer the clock gets to 11:59 p.m., the busier it will be. If you are working on your application at 11:59 p.m. but haven't hit the submit button, you will be locked out. The agency cannot accept late applications, so we strongly encourage you to begin the process early and with enough time to reach out for support should questions arise. The grant period will end on August 31st, 2027. And to reiterate, this is a $10,000 flat taxable award with no match requirement. The Creative Accelerator Fund is for individual artists only. To be an eligible individual artist, you must have an active and sustained practice and be age 21 or older, be an established Illinois resident prior to October 14th, 2025. You must include a work sample created by you during the period of 2024 to 2026. You must also include a work sample created by you during 2023 or prior. And you may not be currently enrolled in a degree obtaining program, including a college or university in any undergraduate or graduate program. PhD candidates need to have completed their coursework by the application deadline to be eligible. Collaborative applications will not be considered and are ineligible for Creative Accelerator Fund funding. It is expected that if artists involved in a collaborative team are eligible individually for CAF, then each would submit their own separate applications and their work samples would reflect their individual vision. Recipients of the FY25 or FY26 Creative Accelerator funds are ineligible, as well as individuals enrolled in any degree obtaining program and organizations or schools. This award is for individuals only. Applicants may only submit one application per fiscal year. Before we walk through the mechanics of the CAF application, we're going to cover some of the agency's definitions for this program. For the purpose of the Creative Accelerator Fund, the Illinois Arts Council defines individual artist with an active and sustained practice to mean that you are currently devoting time to practicing your art form and that you have practiced since at least 2023. You do not necessarily need to derive income from your work in the arts. It is also acceptable if your art form has changed over those years. There are numerous fields that benefit from creativity that we are not able to support with CAF. We value the creative energy you bring to this work. However, the Illinois Arts Council's governor-appointed council approved funding for the Creative Accelerator Fund to support individuals working in the artistic disciplines specified in the guidelines. On page 5 of the guidelines, there are lists of eligible and ineligible art practices. If you do not see the type of art you practice listed, and you are not sure if what your art is eligible, please contact your IAC program director. CAF is holistic support to individual artists. We trust that you know the best way to invest and sustain your artistic practice. However, as a state agency, there are some expenditures that are not allowable with state funds, including subsidizing an individual's academic study or projects associated with that academic study, political activities such as contributions, lobbying, or fundraisers. To get started in Salesforce, if you have previously used the IAC Salesforce system, log in using your Salesforce login and password. If you are a first-time applicant, create a new profile with a username and password. Some Salesforce tips. Applicants need to use Chrome when working in Salesforce, as that is the browser Salesforce is optimized for. If you are having trouble creating an account, try resetting the password on your email to see if you already have an account. Sometimes users forget they have an account and the system will not let you make one if the email address is already in Salesforce. Some users get caught in a password reset loop. Reach out to IAC if this happens and we can offer assistance from the back end.
Now we are going to talk through the application details. Later in the presentation, Jasmine will do a live walkthrough of the system. What I am going to go through here are the steps outlined in the CAF guidelines starting on page 10. Here you will see a list of the application components for this year's Creative Accelerator Fund application. I will go through each of these components throughout the next few slides. Once logged in, navigate to the Applicant Information tab. It is critical that you keep the information on this tab current so IAC can reach you. The information can be updated at any time, and it is listed on the screen and includes your individual name, both legal and artistic, general contact information including a drop-down selection of zip code and county, primary discipline selection for which you will select one, any additional disciplines reflected in your artistic practice, and you may select as many as applicable, and checkboxes if the applicant identifies as BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, or has a disability. After you have updated your Applicant Information tab, you can shift your attention to the application itself. Under the Grant Programs tab, select Creative Accelerator Fund 2027. If your user account has multiple applicants set up, the system will prompt the selection of the applicant to move forward. If you are an artist affiliated with an organizational applicant and you are applying for CAF, you need to make sure you apply using your individual account or set up a new account under your own name if you need to. Because this application is only for individual artists, any applications made under organizational names will be made ineligible. On the main section of the application tab, you will provide assurances to a number of statements. The first is that the applicant information tab has been updated. That is a checkbox. The remainder of the listed assurances are drop-down fields that must select yes or no appropriately. You were and continue to be an active artist during 2024 to 2026. You are a sustained artist with activity from 2023 or prior. You have been established as an Illinois resident prior to October 14th, 2025. You are legally able to receive taxable income in the U.S. You are 21 years or older. You are not currently enrolled in a degree obtaining program. You acknowledge that recipients are determined by a randomized selection in partnership with the Illinois State Lottery. You acknowledge that IAC may use images of your work samples in our communications and outreach, and you consent to a potential interview with IAC's communication team. IAC regularly connects its grantees with our communications team to help promote the work that they do and celebrate arts and culture in Illinois. IAC outlets include our Muse newsletter, website, and social media. If any of the assurances listed on this slide and in the CAF application are left blank or not addressed, the application will be made ineligible and not be considered for funding. You will also have 5 form fields to complete: the number of years as a practicing artist outside of a degree obtaining program, the title of your first work sample, the year of completion of your first work sample that must be between the years of 2024 to 2026, the title of your second work sample, and the year of completion for the second work sample, which must be from 2023 or prior. Next is the supporting documents, which may be submitted as an uploaded file or as a link. Supporting documents utilizing video or audio files submitted via a link have no size restriction, but they must be public and without password protection. Work samples must remain without password protection until the applicant receives the CAF selection communication. Links also may not go to sites that require an account, such as Instagram. Supporting documents submitted as an upload may not be larger than 25 megabytes in size, and Salesforce will accept the formats listed on the screen and in the guidelines. Information about the supporting documents required for the Creative Accelerator Fund application begin on page 13 of the FY27 CAF guidelines. We provide suggestions in the guidelines for how you would like to label each supporting document that you would upload. We recommend preparing the following supporting documents ahead of time to help simplify the application process. The supporting documents to be included are the application narrative, the work sample 1 created during the years of 2024 to 2026, work sample 2 completed 2023 or prior, a current valid driver's license or state ID, and 1-year residency verification if needed. The narrative should be a 1-page PDF or 2-minute video or audio recording. Either the video or the PDF should address the following about your art practice. What art form or forms do you practice? Describe the community areas of Illinois where you practice your art, and how the award would benefit your art practice. Please note that if you are submitting a recorded and not a written narrative, the recording must be made specifically for this CAF application and needs to answer the bullets listed. Applicants should not be concerned with the production quality of the recording. And even if you do have a great promotional piece or interview segment that was done, please do not submit it. take the time to record a straightforward, simple video or audio recording of yourself answering these 3 questions. The first work sample should be a work created by you in 2024, 2025, or 2026. The work should not have been created for a degree obtaining program or made during your enrollment in any degree obtaining program. There is a description field that applicants may utilize to provide optional informational details about the work. Each work sample has that corresponding field, and it has a maximum of 1,000 characters. In that description field, you may provide additional details pertaining to that work that you think may be pertinent. Work sample 2 has the same stipulations as work sample 1, but should have been completed in 2023 or prior. A couple of notes about the work samples. For the purpose of CAF, IAC defines work samples created by you as creative work created entirely by you or with substantial contributions by you. If it is the latter, please explain in the work sample description what part in the work's creation you had. For example, if you were the cinematographer for a film scene that was written, directed, and performed by others, you will need to specify that your contribution was the cinematography. If artificial intelligence, or AI, was used as a tool in the creation of your work, that also needs to be explained in the work sample description. Applications should clearly demonstrate meaningful human authorship and creative leadership within any artificial intelligence assisted work. You may not submit any work sample entirely generated by an AI program as your own to the CAF application. CAF is funded by state taxes and therefore requires a minimum of 1 year residency in the state of Illinois. Your residency verification requires your valid Illinois driver's license or Illinois state ID. A valid Illinois driver's license or state ID will need to expire on or after October 14th, 2026. If the issue date of that ID is prior to October 14th, 2025, then that ID is the only residency document required to upload. If the issue date of the driver's license or state ID is after October 15th, 2025, you must also submit 1 year residency verifications that are detailed on the next slide. So, like I said, if the issue date is after October 15th, 2025, you must also submit one of the following as an upload: your previous driver's license or state ID from Illinois, a utility bill with your name on it prior to October 14th, 2025, or a W-2 or 1099 from 2024. In the system, you will see a Financials tab. That is not required for the CAF application. It is part of the architecture of Salesforce and is utilized for our other grant programs. If you do click on it, you will receive an error message. Simply click the return button at the top left of the screen to return back to the main application. Please note, submission is a 2-step process to both certify and submit your application. Once the application is complete, click the Submit button in the lower left-hand corner. A pop-up will require certification of eligibility and application content. Certification details are listed on page 11 in the CAF guidelines. The certification process is a legal sign-off that the application is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, and that any fraudulent submissions are subject to penalty or potential legal action. After certification, there is a Submit button which must be clicked to complete the application in the IAC Salesforce Grant Portal. The application will not be successfully submitted until the second Submit button is clicked. After the application is submitted, you will see the status of the application change, both within the application itself and on the lists of your applications within the system. Jasmine, who's gonna now do a live walkthrough of the website and Salesforce platform.
Thank you, Jackie. Hi, everyone. I'm now going to do a step-by-step walkthrough on how to complete your CAF FY27 application. You're going to start by going to the Illinois Arts Council website. The Creative Accelerator Fund application can be found under the Artist tab. After clicking into the Artist tab, you would scroll down and you can find the Creative Accelerator Fund application here. This Learn More button is going to take you to the Creative Accelerator Fund webpage. If you scroll down here, this page gives you information about everything. Any question you would have about the Accelerator Fund grant is answered on this page. I would also like to call out that at the very top here, there's a Find Your Regional Program Director button. This tool can help you determine who your regional program director is before applying. And so you're going to click into that button. And if you are located in one of our Chicago metro regions, which would be any of these counties that are listed at the top here, you can search for your regional program director by entering your zip code here. So you enter your zip code into the search bar, click Apply Filter, and it will let you know who your regional program director is. If you are not located in any of those counties located at the very top, you're going to select your county from this drop-down list here. And once again, it will let you know who your assigned regional program director is. To begin your application, you can do that from the Creative Accelerator Fund webpage by clicking the Apply Now button. That Apply Now button is going to take you to the grant portal. Once you're in the grant portal, before beginning your application, you're going to want to make sure that your applicant information tab is up to date. That applicant information tab can be found on the far right side of the grant portal here. If there are any updates that you need to make to an applicant that is already listed here, you would simply click into that applicant. And from there, you can make whatever edits are necessary. If you are new to the system or need to create a new applicant, you would click this New button. And in this case, you would select Individual. From there, you would enter all of the information that is required here on the applicant information form. I would like to call out that the zip code field here is a drop-down list. So once you enter your zip code there, you would select it from that list, and that's how it fills your zip code into that field. And the same is true for the county field. You would type your county in and select it from that drop-down list. After all of your information is entered here, you would simply click Save, and that applicant will show up in your applicant list under this tab. To begin your application, you are going to navigate to the Grant Programs tab, and you would select the Creative Accelerator Fund 2027 application. After clicking into the application, you'll be brought to the first portion. Here is where you would complete all of the form fields, both required and not required. From there, you would click Save. That Save button is going to take you to the next portion of the application where you would upload your supporting documents. You can find that Supporting Documents tab here on the left. And this is where you would upload all of the supporting documents that are required along with the application. You'll know that those documents are uploaded because once you hover over them, they will glow green. Once your supporting documents once your supporting documents are uploaded, you'll be brought back to the second portion of the application. There is a Financial Information tab here on the left. That tab is simply a part of the architecture of the website and is not utilized at all in this application. So if you click into it, you will be given an error message. You will simply click that return button and go back to your application. At the very bottom side of the left side of the screen here, you'll see a button to submit and a button to preview your application. That preview application button is going to generate a PDF of your application that allows you to look over it and save it to your records. To submit your application, you're going to click that submit button. It's going to ask you to certify the following statements. You will go ahead and click agree, and from there, click submit. And please note that your application is not officially submitted until you click that second submit button. Once that second submit button is clicked, the application status will change. Here in the system, you'll see it says application submitted, and then also on the home screen, that application will be listed as submitted. My submitted application is the second one listed here. And that is all for submitting your 2027 Creative Accelerator Fund applications. Please feel free to reach out to me via email if you all have any questions. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. As Jasmine pulls the PowerPoint back up, the next portion of the presentation is going to talk about the review process, notification, and information to awardees and grant compliance. So the review process. When the application is created, the Salesforce Grant Portal will issue an application number that will be used in future communication regarding that application. All FY27 CAF applications will begin with 2027 and then will be followed by a set of 7 additional numbers. Applications which have been ruled ineligible or incomplete will not be reviewed. Applications are reviewed based on the review criteria. Final award determination will be determined via randomized selection from the Illinois Lottery to determine the order of application review. Randomized selections will be grouped according to IAC region. The final recommendations are presented to the IAC board for their consideration and approval, and a record of the review process is maintained for all reviewed applications. Review criteria are listed on page 7 of the CAF guidelines and include: does the application demonstrate the individual artist has an active and sustained practice, meaning they have provided a work sample from 2024 to 2026, they have provided a work sample from 2023 or prior, and the artist has described their art practice that was reflected in those work samples and how CAF award may benefit them as an artist. The second review criteria is if the application is complete. And the third criteria is if the artist is eligible to receive funds from the state of Illinois. So that entails showing proof that they have been an Illinois resident prior to October 14th, 2025, submitting a valid state ID or driver's license that has not expired, that the applicant is compliant with IAC requirements, and the applicant is not on the Illinois stop payment list. Individuals may be placed on the stop payment list for not being in compliance with all state agencies. Examples include owing money to another state agency or not being up to date on reporting on state grants. Notification. All applicants will be notified of funding decisions once IAC has reviewed and approved funding recommendations. Applicants approved for funding will receive via email instructions regarding requirements to accept and claim the grant. Please note that some email systems direct IAC notification emails to spam email boxes. We encourage you to mark no reply at webmerge.me and InsureSign at send.insuresign.com as safe email addresses in your account. If awarded a CAF award, your grant award letter will provide instructions regarding requirements to accept and claim the award. Award acceptance is a multi-step process. Documents that are part of acceptance for CAF include the following: an artist biography of 300 words or less that note your preferred name for public communications, a headshot or work photo that may be used in public communications. Photos should be in a JPEG format with the photo credit or meta tag. Images should be no larger than 750 pixels by 750 pixels and 20 megabytes. Signed and dated IRS W-9 form. Once these items have been uploaded, the artist will be sent a link to sign the award acceptance document agreement via FormStack. Once all acceptance items have been received in the artist Salesforce account, they will go through a certification process with IAC's fiscal office. The fiscal office will then create a payment voucher, which will be sent to the office of the Illinois Comptroller. The Illinois Comptroller will process the voucher for payment. Grantees can check the status of their grant payment through the Comptroller's vendor website or sign up to be notified about the payment via email, text, or both. Grantees can also sign up for direct deposit from the Illinois Comptroller. Grantees are eligible for direct deposit if they have received a payment from the Comptroller's office within the previous 24 months. Otherwise, the check will be mailed to the address on file in your Salesforce account. Please contact the Comptroller's office at 217-557-0930 if you would like to set up direct deposit. Payments can take 2 to 6 months to fully process. Awarded artists will be issued a 1099-G from the State Comptroller for the year in which the grant funds are received.
All FY27 CAF recipients will be required to complete and submit a report no later than September 30th, 2027, as stated on the grant agreement. The final report for CAF award will ask, how did the CAF award benefit you as an artist? And ask for an optional quote on the impact of the award and/or photo with a photo credit. If helpful, at the end of the guidelines, there is a checklist that you can use in putting together your application. This is not part of the application itself. It is only intended as a tool to assist in preparing the application. If after this session you find you have further questions, you're welcome to join us at any of the upcoming drop-in sessions. These do not require registration, nor do you need to stay the whole hour, as the name suggests. You can just drop in with your questions. The link to join the meetings is available on our CAF webpage or the workshops and webinars page. You may also reach out to your program director directly. Regional program directors are your first point of contact for questions about all of our funding opportunities. This map shows the regional breakout for our programs team across the state. If you're based in Cook County or the surrounding suburban collar counties, you're considered a member of our Chicago metro region. To find your program director, you'll enter your zip code in the Program Director Finder tool as Jasmine demonstrated. Thank you so much for joining us for this webinar, and we look forward to your application.